welcome to the February 13th, 2023 City Council work session. Thank you for joining us in this hybrid meeting format. For work sessions like this one, where there is no opportunity for public comment, those wishing to access the meeting can do so by watching the live stream available on our website, the broadcast on Comcast Channel 21, or by calling into one of the phone numbers listed for this meeting on the public webcast and meeting materials web page. So thank you again for joining us. And with that, I call this work session to order, and I will turn it over to the city manager to introduce.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. We're back this week again after last week to talk about the Parks and Recreation Levy Renewal. And I believe Matt is just going to walk us through high level and then just open it up for discussion.
Thank you, Sarah. So good afternoon, Mayor and Council. I'm Matt Rodriguez, the Public Works Director. It's my honor to be here to talk with you about the potential to place a Parks and Recreation Renewal levy on the May 16th ballot. I'm here with the content experts and champions of Parks and Recreation and Finance over here. Twyla Miller, our Finance Director, Craig Smith, Recreation Director, Craig Carnegie, Parks Director, and Ben Klipfel, our Acting LRCS Directors, who can answer any questions that you may have. So briefly, as you know, our Parks and Recreation system and our services are one of the things that really make Eugene a very special place to be. And we've had very strong support over the years from the community in advancing our facilities and providing funding for operations and maintenance of those facilities. Most recently in 2018, we had the voters passed both a capital bond and an operations and maintenance levy. The purpose of the levy was twofold. It was really to raise the level of service across the system, especially in parks, as well as provide capacity for new facilities that would be built within that 5-year term in both parks and recreation. And really there were 6 areas of focus you can see up here: park safety, trails and natural areas, recreation facilities, of which we have 3 that were built with the bond funds, including Echo Hollow, Sheldon, and Campbell Community Center. Develop park maintenance, cleanup of our parks, including graffiti and vandalism, and future developed park maintenance. So in the fall, we came to you to talk about options for funding, additional funding for parks and recreation operations and maintenance, really focusing on a levy renewal after doing a lot of background research on what might be the best funding source to bring forward. We brought 3 options for you. The column in blue, which is the 2018 levy, which really is the existing rate from the levy that will expire in June of this year. The yellow column, which is bringing the level of service up to the 2024 requirement. And then a third option, enhanced safety, which built on the 2024 service requirement by adding funding for 2 additional EPD officers dedicated to parks. We have 2 in the existing levy. This would have made it 4, as well as an investment in additional parks ambassadors. And really the rate that you can see moved from 19 cents to 32 to 37 across those options. Most of that was really about capacity for new facilities coming online. We had the survey done. We shared that information with you in January. And as you know, we saw there really was strong support for our Parks and Recreation system, but there was price sensitivity in the community, especially around the options that were the 2024 service requirement and additional. So we did get really good information in those surveys about what were important to people when they're thinking about our Parks and Recreation system. We could see there was really a high level of interest in additional security, safety, and cleanliness in our parks, as well as living up to our promises for our recreation facilities of providing programming and the ongoing facility support to keep those open and accessible to the public. After we got those results, we had the conversation with you and hearing your input, we went back to the drawing board and we came up with a 4th option, which was the safety and service option. We really went back to the baseline levy rate and built back off of that, trying to really target what we were hearing from the community as their top needs in their park and recreation system. So adding additional kind of modest increases for developed park maintenance and future developed parks, but really focusing on additional funding for cleanup of our parks, additional parks ambassadors, which are really the eyes and ears of our park system, and make sure that our park rules are being adhered to, and coordinating with our park resource officers when they have to, as well as funding for programming those recreation facilities, the 3 I spoke of, so that they're really there for the community the way that they want them to be, and the ongoing maintenance and operations of those facilities. So when we came back to you and presented this option last week, you directed us to come back to you with a resolution to consider for putting the safety and service option onto the May 16th ballot. A couple real quick things about this option, just to remind you, the safety and service option has a gross levy amount of 5.33 million, a 2024 service level of 4.33 million. And we kind of talked a little bit about that last time. Average tax rate of 26 cents for 1,000 of real market value, and a typical cost to homeowners of $67. That's an $18 increase. So much more modest than we were considering to the average homeowner. Lastly, compression. So if the park and rec levy were to pass at 26 cents, there would be a little bit less than 30 cents remaining before any property could potentially go into compression for the general government tax rate. So with that, we have two motions for you to consider, and then Katie has a couple more if you choose to move forward with these. The first one is to move to adopt a resolution that would basically place the safety and service parks and levy renewal on the May ballot. And then the second is to direct the city manager to prepare a neutral information tabloid for the local option levy and request that cost for that tabloid be included in the supplemental budget in June. And we're here for any questions you may have.
Okay, thank you very much. You know, it is said that the more times you share information, the more likely we are to hold it in our heads. And so I appreciate that because we've been through this material a lot and appreciate the conversation that we had last time. I don't know if there are counselors who have questions still needing to be answered or concerns. I'm not seeing anybody. So, yeah. Oh, Mike, please take the floor.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm going to leave my camera off. There's something wrong with my computer, and every time I turn it on, I get a very strange picture that goes in and out and is distracting. So I'm going to leave it off. I just want to say that I believe that this measure had a chance at the ballot if the amount of money we asked for had not changed. That's why I made that motion last time. Because I think based on the polling we saw, an increased ask in dollars is going to meet with a poor reception, in my opinion. And while I understand the high response numbers we got for increasing safety, and I understand the need for it, I think that question was asked in isolation relative to the cost. And I think, frankly, with last week's refusal to allow people to vote on the ban on gas infrastructure, I really will be radically surprised if this passes. And for the first reasons I mentioned, I'm not in favor, so I won't be supporting. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments from council? Okay, if not, I'm going to turn to Council President to put the first motion on the table.
Thank you, Mayor. Move to adopt resolution number 5372, a resolution calling a city election on May 16, 2023, for the purpose of referring to the legal electors of the city of Eugene, a measure authorizing a 5-year local option levy for the funding of operations and maintenance of parks, trails, natural areas, waterways, and recreation facilities, including increased security measures and illicit activity cleanup.
Second.
Okay, comments or questions? All in favor, please raise your hands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Opposed? 1. Okay, that passes. Okay, next one.
Next motion, Mayor.
Next motion, please. Yeah.
Thank you, Mayor. Move to direct the city manager to prepare a neutral informal tabloid for the local option levy and request that the city manager include the cost for the tabloid on the supplemental budget in June.
Yeah, information tabloid.
Oh, I'm sorry, what did I say?
You said informal, which,
Well, let me read it again,
okay.
just to
that's
make
fine.
sure we get it right.
Perfect.
It never got a second.
We're going to take this in two.
Yeah, there you go.
Move to direct the city manager to prepare a Move to direct the city manager to prepare a neutral information tabloid for the local option levy and request that the city manager include the cost for the tabloid on the supplemental budget in June.
Second.
Okay, any questions or comments about that? All in favor, please raise your hands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, that passes. And now, since we have done that work, we have to sign up for something. So I will ask you to put this third motion on the table.
This move to direct the city manager.
yeah.
I'm sorry.
Sorry, go ahead.
All right,
Didn't mean to interrupt you.
take two on this one. Move to direct the city manager to publish and distribute a local voters pamphlet for the special election scheduled for May 16, 2023 on a levy to fund parks and recreation, and requests a supplemental budget in June include appropriations from the general fund council contingency to cover the cost to produce that voters pamphlet.
Second.
Okay, any questions or comments on this? All in favor, please raise your hands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that passes. And now I have put it out on the table that I need 3 volunteers to help produce a voter's pamphlet statement. So if there's anyone who's just eager to do this, please raise your hand. Otherwise, I have selected some volunteers.
Ross.
Okay,
Chosen.
I'm not seeing any new ones, so I can see a delighted council president, an eager council vice president, and Jennifer. I'm hoping that the 3 of you can take this on. All right, so with those 3 names, can you
Yes, ma'am.
move? Thank you.
Move to appoint councilors Keating, Yeh, and Groves to the voters pamphlet component committee for the Parks and Recreation levy ballot measure.
Second.
Okay, all in favor, please raise your hands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, Mike, are you just not able to vote, or are you actually opposing this? Okay. 6, thank you very much. And none opposed, so that passes unanimously. And I thank you for stepping up and doing this. It's one of those tasks. Someone has to do it. Thank you very much. And I think that's it. This is a record. In and out.
You can use
5
this time to
votes.
write your stuff.
Really? Okay, with that, thank you very much for walking us through this and for helping us resolve it. We are adjourned.